What's up, everybody? Welcome into another edition of Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. I'm your host, Brennan Tassif. Happy you're all joining us. I have a very special guest today. As many of you know, with the whole format of the show, Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. So I'm going to have different guests on. We're going to talk drinking stories, party stories, getting arrested stories if you listen to last week's episode. Or sometimes it's just going to be me by myself ranting and raving. But like I said, this week I have a very special guest. He's my co-host from Cheers from the Press Box, the sports podcast that I do on the A New Low Network, Joe Dorvil.
Hey, how's it going?
The Beanie Boy is back!
Beanie Boy's in the building. What's going on, Brennan?
What's going on, Joe? Before we get into anything, Joe is a hip-hop artist, filmmaker, director, writer out of Atlanta.
I don't know what
I
you're
mean,
talking about.
those are your credits. So, Joe, go ahead, plug everything you want to plug up front.
First of all, you can follow me on Twitter at Joe Dorvil. You can follow me on Instagram, even though I don't really post that much on there anymore. Follow all my shows. Easiest way to do that would be going to the New Low Network, because I'm basically on newlow.co, because I'm on every damn show. Like Brennan said, I do Cheers from the Press Box, as well as Who Does a Podcast, which is a Hamilton podcast, very niche, and then the Big Show, which is a New Low.
Very niche, indeed.
Super niche. And then I have a hip hop album out, as Brennan alluded to. I gotta stop doing that. It's gonna be the death of our friendship. It's gonna be the death of our friendship. My hip hop album is called TV, under the name Headphn Joe. No O, no E in the phone.
I find it fascinating that every time we do plugs, whether it's on, having you as a first time guest on this show or even on our sports show, you always do like Instagram and Twitter and stuff like that first. Like if I had a comedy album out, you could not get me to not talk about it.
Because I think I do it,
and it's great. Like I've listened to it; it's good. I have it.
Thank
I have it
you.
on my workout playlist.
Thank you. I think I do that primarily because it's the easiest way to get to it. Because if you go to my Twitter, not only is it my Twitter picture, it's the pinned tweet. Yeah. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see like all of the podcasts basically I work on, because that's like the last couple posts I made on there, and the album as well. So it's a hub for everything I do primarily.
Yeah, it kind of brings everything together. Yeah. That's the whole reason that I even started my website, was it was just easier to be like, just go there and then you can find it.
Yeah, I was paying for a website like out of college, and then I was like, I don't want to pay for a website anymore. So I was like, just go to my Instagram and Twitter.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is, so for those of you listening, we'll get you caught up. So, Joe is a Florida boy.
Through and through.
You live in Atlanta now.
Yes.
You went to the University of North Florida here in Jacksonville, Florida.
I'll spare all the, swoop. I'll spare you guys that.
Don't ask me. I don't know what it is.
I look, when I went to orientation and they did the swoop thing, I was immediately repulsed and regretted every decision I made.
Isn't that the weirdest thing where you get like, it happens to me watching TV sometimes where I just feel so awkward for the characters, and I'm like, what are we doing?
I was like, why? What? Like they got us into an auditorium. This is back when we could be in auditoriums. They got us into an auditorium, and they're like, all right, guys, we're gonna swoop on 3. 1, 2, 3. I was like, yeah, nah.
Nah.
I was the coolest kid at 18, I thought.
You're still the coolest kid now at 26.
I'm pretty damn cool, I'll say.
So like we said, you went to UNF. Tell all the listeners just kind of about you, like where you grew up in. You said you were from County, South Florida, right?
Yeah, South Florida. North Lauderdale is the city I claim. Born at Holy Cross Hospital, if you must know, in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Broward until I was 12. Then we moved. My mom moved me and 2 of my brothers to Palm Coast, which is, for those in Jacksonville, may or may not know, it's 30 minutes outside of 30 minutes outside of Daytona. Ended up going to FPC. We beat Spruce Creek a lot.
Fucking asshole.
You were long gone by then, but
I'm gonna have to fix the levels on this, coming hard at
me. So then graduated with honors and went to UNF because I didn't understand how college worked. That's a funny story. I didn't have that in the notes, but that's a funny story.
What do you mean you didn't understand how college worked?
I dual enrolled for 2 years, so I had the credits for a sophomore by the time I graduated high school. So because I was dual enrolling, I was applying to every college as a transfer instead of a first year student.
Yeah.
So UNF was the first school to just make me make it a first year student instead of a transfer, and they accepted me. So I was like, all right, that's the first school that accepted me. No one else has called me back or updated my portal, so I'm going to go there. And then everybody else started sending, like USF sent a letter and was like, hey, you probably should have did as a first-year student, but you're accepted. I was like, I've already signed up for classes.
Son of a bitch. Because we do the sports show together, so I know how much you love sports. And, God, that would have been awesome to go to a school that had an actual football team. At that time,
USF was like on their quote-unquote ascension in football, too.
Yeah, because I remember when I was because you obviously are a few years behind me, but when I was
4
playing
years? You're 30, 31?
32.
32, so 6 years.
But
5 years.
I graduated young and everything, so it would have been like 4 or 5 years. But it was interesting because that Ascension thing, when I was playing at FAU, it was my freshman year there is when they had Grothy and JPP and all those and Malcolm Jenkins. Remember, he was a top pick for the Cowboys. Let's not turn this into the other podcast.
But so UNF, I did experience some success sports wise. That was my first year there. My first or second year there is when we made to the NCAA tournament for basketball.
That was a big deal.
So
I remember. I was living in Jackson then.
That was pretty huge. But yes, off of sports. You can find more stuff like that on Cheers from the Press Box.
Boom with the plug, baby. So I wanted to kind of, we are going to get into, you sent me a list of topics. You were the first guest who successfully navigated this list system. It's so frustrating. Like, I love all the guests that I've had on. You know, most of them are very close friends of mine. All of them are close friends of mine. But it's so frustrating because, and you know this from doing all the other podcasts, is I'll be like, hey, this is the format of the show.
Yeah.
It's called Your Ex Drinking Buddy. I'm sober now, but I still love to reminisce and talk about old drinking stories and war stories and like getting in trouble and stuff like that. It's fun for me. And sometimes we talk about serious things. Like I had Daisy Tackett on and, you know, she talked about her sexual assault. I had my buddy, Dallas Nelson on, and he talked about like what it was like to be gay in the military and stuff. And it was just like, I like to have interesting people on with interesting stories because like we were talking about before the mics got hot. Well, it's very interesting, and I think you sell yourself short. So you are the
I'm
son
black,
of an.
By the way.
Oh yeah, Joe's black. See, points for me for not bringing it up.
I think when we said I had a hip hop album, we all could assume at that point.
Hey man. Yeah, no, that's true. But your mother was an immigrant, correct?
Yes, my mom moved here from Haiti. In like the mid to late 80s. But she didn't move here from Haiti, actually. She moved from Haiti and then she went to St. Martin, which is not a part of the Virgin Islands. It's its own island. And then she moved,
get it right, fuckos.
Well, I didn't know this until like 2 years ago myself. For forever, I was like, yeah, my brothers are from the Virgin Islands, the U.S. Virgin Islands. It's the Virgin Islands, but it's not the U.S. Virgin Islands. So yeah, she moved here in like 80, probably like 88. Yeah, that would make my brothers like 5. Moved here in 88. She moved to Miami, and then she ended up getting our house that we still have now, like 6 months after I was born.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And you have 5. You are
4
one of
older
5.
brothers.
Yeah, you are one of 5.
Yeah, 1 of 5. The right.
Damn. That's a lot of brothers.
It's a lot of brothers. It's a lot.
Well, it's a lot of brothers, and it's a lot of brothers. Full disclosure: yes. The original title for our podcast, sports podcast, was supposed to be "The Playa" and "The Player."
And we were gonna let you guys figure out who was who.
Yeah, didn't go well in testing, so we changed it.
By the way, I laugh a lot, so just to get people ready for that. I know.
Yeah,
I
well, that's
laugh a
good
lot.
because I have people on this podcast and I'll say things that I'm like, oh, this is funny. And they just stare at me. And I'm like, oh, great.
You know, some people aren't great audiences. I'm a good audience.
Some people aren't good fucking guests either. Luckily, I haven't had to deal with it yet because everyone I've had on, I'm pretty close with.
I already told you, gear up for an extended long episode because I can ramble.
Yeah, me too. God, don't the listeners know I can ramble. But I wanted to kind of, like I said, so you sent, God, this topic we brought up like fucking 10 minutes ago. You actually sent me a list, which I appreciate. Because so many people are like, yeah, I've got stories. And I'm like, all right, send me a list. And then they never send me the list. And then they're sitting here. And you know how it is as a host. You're like trying to steer the ship. And you're like,
I need a way to navigate this.
Yeah, like I can't fucking, anyway. So you did try, we've talked about this at length, but you not only, you went to school for film, correct?
Yeah. Originally it was biology major. Then I realized I didn't want to be in school because I tried stand-up a couple times and I was like, hey, this art thing is kind of fun. Yeah. And I was almost about to drop out until my mom talked me off that ledge. And then I ended up getting somebody who was working at the college radio station with me was like, hey, man, you should probably get into the production track because you seem like you like film and TV more than whatever you're currently studying. I was like, you might have a point, bud.
Wow, that's awesome that someone actually...
Yeah, Josh Brennick. Shout out to Josh Brennick. He was the one that was like, hey, man, you should go into TV production because he was in the track himself. He was like, you don't seem like you want to do anything like educational. You seem like you just want to create. But
well, and it's funny because that not same thing, but a similar thing happened to me as I took everyone in my not everyone, my uncle who he was like, you should do business. You should do business. And he was right. I mean, that's really smart. But he was like, you know, you should do something with business administration or marketing or something like that. And I think like my major originally was like business management or something like that. And I took one political science class as an elective. And I was like, oh, this reminds me of like growing up in my house as a kid. Like you can't say certain things to certain people. You have to tiptoe around these people. Like I was like, oh, I've been playing politics since my parents got divorced when I was fucking 12. Like, let's do this.
Wow.
So then I immediately changed my major and everything, and probably worst decision I ever made because
same.
Well, you moved to Atlanta. So for the listeners, Joe moved to Atlanta because Atlanta is a hub for filmmaking.
Yeah.
And then tell everybody what happened if they're unaware.
And then I quickly realized, like, they say in the movies and on TV, it's not what I forgot the quote.
It's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah, exactly. You're better at quotes than me. We've gone through this. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And I knew no one. And I quickly realized that. So,
well, that was
my first 4 years so far has been trying to amass as many contacts that I can. And it's not going great. Hence why I started doing a rap album. Because actually the funny thing was, so I've always been into music and making music, but originally the thought process behind that was like, okay, I've shot a couple music videos for like a couple $100 for some guys I've worked with and stuff like that. Let me work on my own album. I can shoot like 3 videos and then I can have like different styles so I can present to people. And then the pandemic hit and then I was like, I can't really shoot a video because I can't have my friends help me because we all need to get tested, and so I only made 1 video.
Is that up somewhere? Can the listeners go find that?
Yeah, that's on YouTube. It's for the song Prime.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Well, tell me about, let's get into some of these stories. So you moved to Atlanta. Your first night out on the town.
Oh. I was wondering why you kept bringing that up. Okay, no, I got you.
Well, I brought it up because I'm genuinely interested in Atlanta.
Okay, so
but all you wrote was first night out in Atlanta, first night, quote unquote, out on the town, and that's basically it.
Yeah. Okay. This is a semi-long story. All these are kind of long stories. I'm very long-winded in my speech.
We're creators. That's what we do.
Exactly. We have to whittle it down until we figure it out. So I had been here for a couple months. The first job I got when I moved from Jacksonville, I was working at Jimmy John's as a driver. And then when I moved up here, I got an apartment in the middle of the city And there was a Jimmy John's up the street, so I ended up applying there. Got the job, obviously. It's pretty easy. It's super easy. And then eventually, after like a month or two, I had got a job as a personal videographer for this recording artist. But I had made like good friendships with the guys at Jimmy John's because those are
Quick
like
side note, don't
dudes.
just gloss over that. What's a personal videographer?
An artist has
You just follow them around?
a team. Yeah, basically.
Okay.
Like the person that like sets up vlogs and stuff like that.
Okay, the reason I asked that is because I had a party one time, like a private dining event for a birthday. And it was like 30 people. Guy walked in, just a Louis Vuitton leather vest on. I told you about this when it happened.
No, I don't remember this.
No shirt or anything, just the Louis Vuitton leather vest. But obviously, he was very wealthy. I didn't know who he was though, and all the reservation and stuff was made under his girlfriend, so I couldn't figure out who he was. But he had guys just like following him, filming everything. Nice. And I was like, this guy's got to be somebody. And I know he's not an athlete because I've been around athletes my whole life, and most of them don't do this. So I was like, he's got to be like an artist or something. So at the end of the meal, when he was like, hey, man, I want to get you in the video. Like, we're celebrating my birthday. When he put the camera on me, I immediately was like, Brennan T Comedy, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. But I was just kind of like, this guy's got... So that's what you were doing. You were following people around.
Yeah, I was following a artist around and documenting like her ascension in the...
Oh, you told me about this.
Around this time.
Okay.
So I got in that job, but I was still tight with the dudes at Jimmy John's. So I went to my homie Rom and I was like, bro, I've been here for like 2-3 months now. I don't know where to go hang out. Like I've just been going to bars around my neighborhood, in the middle of the city. So it's just like your regular city bar. I was like, I want to see Atlanta. I just came to the black city of America. I want to see the black people. And so he was like, I was like, I want to see what the black people do. He was like, I got you, bro. We're going out this Saturday. I was like, all right, cool. So that Saturday, met up with them. They literally weren't going anywhere. They were at a restaurant up the street from my house, and they were just drinking there. But it was Rom was there, my homie Kyle, who's now my homie. I met him that day, and my homie Lance, who worked with us there, who's now my roommate. That's my dog. And then Lance was like, "Hey, my cousin's coming," and I was like, "Okay, I don't know what that means." His cousin was a girl. I won't say her name. And then he was like, she's coming with her friend. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. That's good news. So they get there. We all kicking it and whatnot. And then at some point, Lance, Rom, and Kyle are like, all right, we're heading out. And I was like, well, I stay up the street, so I guess I'll stay here for like another beer or so. And then the girls are like, hey, we're going to go somewhere else. And I was like, okay. And they're like, you want to come? I was like, yeah.
Obviously.
I was like, yeah, of course. You guys both look great. Yeah, why not? I don't know anybody in the city, really. So kicked it with them. We went to one spot, kicked it for a while. Then we went to this other spot. Mind you, I have not gone out to shop. I don't like going to malls or shop or whatnot. So I'm in some like dusty ass Adidas white shoes that I've had for like 4 years at this point. Regular pair of black jeans and a University of Miami hoodie. That's what I'm wearing. And we just went to like some Go Canes. And we went to like some not upscale, but like at one point I was sitting down. I was sitting with them and I looked at them and I was like, I am the most underdressed person here. And then one of them leaned over and like, but you're with us. I was like, good point.
Yeah,
I was like,
point.
Good point. So,
it's not always about the outfit. Sometimes it's about the accessories.
Exactly, Brennan. So then we left that spot we were at where that conversation happened. Then we get to this other spot. And now it's really small. It's really packed. We're essentially everybody's on top of each other.
Is it like a nightclub or a bar?
It's like a nightclub. It's a nightclub.
Okay.
But it's a nightclub with like no dance floor, basically. So it's basically a bar, some booths, but it's like jam packed.
Okay. Like the beach bars in Jacksonville.
Yeah. But sometimes you like shim sham, you go upstairs. But beyond the point. So
thanks for that. All the listeners are going to appreciate that.
Thank you. Knowledge. So I started making out with one of these women. I started making out, then we stopped kissing, and then she ends up kissing somebody else. This is not my girlfriend. I don't have possessive tendencies over women. I don't mind. I don't care. I don't plan on doing anything. So I'm like, whatever. She's drunk. She's having a good time. So, but then she got into it with her friend and she called her a bitch at some point in the night. So then her friend called herself an Uber. So I was like, you know what? She was like, Joe, can you walk me to the car? Because my bags are in the car. So I can get this and go. I was like, all right, Joe. I was like, can you give me the keys so I can get her stuff out the car and wait for the Uber with her? She was like, fine. So we go down, we go to the car, get her bags, the Uber pulls up. I put her in the Uber, have a nice night. I'm gonna go back to the bar, grab her, my friend's cousin, take her, get in the car, take her home, call it a night. I get back to the bar, there's police cars outside. I'm like, you know, this is normal stuff. Police cars outside of a black club, you know.
Outside of any club, Joe. I've been arrested outside of clubs before.
Particularly black club. So I tried to walk right in, but then the bouncer's like, gotta wait in line. I was like, I'm here like to get somebody out. Like I was just here. You saw me walk out. He's like,
oh fuck,
you gotta go to the back of the line.
They didn't have any like bracelets or anything like
that?
No,
he was like, you gotta go to the back of the line. I was like, all right, man. So I go to the back of the line. I'm a very like non-confrontational person, so it's like, you know what? It's your rule. Okay, fine. I'm not gonna cause a hubbub about it. So
where is this when we record our podcast and you want to argue with me all the time?
Well, we weren't talking sports. We were talking about entering an establishment.
No, I know. Plus, we don't really argue at all. Anyway.
So I was like, I go to the back of the line, just kicking it, whatnot, kicking it. And then he's like, after probably like 5 minutes, he's like, hey, bro. I was like, yeah. He was like, you just getting somebody, right? I was like, yeah, I'm just grabbing somebody and I'm going. He was like, all right, yeah, you come on in and get them. So I go in. And I can't find my friend's cousin at this point. I don't know where she is. There was a guy, me and him were making eye contact. He wasn't with our party. And he's like, hey, bro, where did you go? I was like, I went to take the other girl to her Uber. He was like, homegirl you was with just got pulled out by the cops. I was like,
shit.
What? He was like, yeah, man, like she fell. She knocked over somebody's drink. I was like...
And if there's one thing I know from movies, you don't knock over somebody's drink in a black club.
Let alone in Atlanta. So I was like, what? Oh, shit. Thanks, homie. So I run out of there. So I didn't say this, but the car that she was driving was her uncle's car, and it was a black Mercedes. So now I have the keys to a black Mercedes. She's been taken to the drunk tank, and I don't want to drive this car because it's not my car. So
they didn't just like haul her out and like call someone to pick you up. Like they
that's
arrested
the funny thing.
her.
So when I got there and I saw the cop cars, she was in the cop car.
Oh shit!
She was the reason the cops had came. I didn't know that. I was unaware of all of it. I started piecing it together as I started walking to the car.
This is like a Tarantino movie.
So I walked to the car, and my only course of action is I call my buddy who's her cousin. I'm like, bro, he's like, this is like 2 a.m. I'm like, bro, he's like, what's going on? I'm like, so Jewel just got arrested. I'm sitting in your uncle's car. I don't feel safe driving it.
Yeah.
Can you come pick me up? Because I don't even know how to get home from here. He's like, shit. All right, I got you. I'll be there in like 20.
Oh my God.
So I'm just sitting in a Mercedes on a street in the middle of Atlanta for like 20 minutes, just waiting for him to pull up. And then like he comes with somebody, so they drive his car. He drops me off, and then he figures everything out. They got her out of jail like the next morning. But it was the most bizarre thing ever.
Were you worried at all? And this, let me know if this is weird to ask, but you and I have these conversations on air and off air all the time. Were you worried at all being in Atlanta, being a black man in a black Mercedes at 2-something in the morning in downtown Atlanta? Like, did that thought even cross your mind?
Yeah, because I was like, well, if somebody tries to like rob the car.
Well, not only that, but like, why? I was thinking it from the other perspective of like,
if I was driving it and got pulled over, it's not my car. That was me. That's why I was like, I'm not driving
immediately
this.
I'm thinking like they're gonna walk up and be like, yo, like what are you doing out here at 3
here?
a.m?
Let me see the registration. Where's
yeah,
your
in this expensive ass car.
I think I have my ID on me, but I have a Florida ID. I didn't even change licenses at this time.
Oh yeah, you would have looked like you were slinging for sure.
Exactly. I would have looked real bad. And plus I was dressed bummy, so it wouldn't look like I should be in this car.
No, that's what I'm saying. They would have been like, this guy's got
a bad night for
They
me.
would have ripped that car apart looking for the coke.
It would have been a bad night for your boy.
Oh, so first night out in Atlanta.
That
Sounds
was
like
the
a
first time I went out.
success.
And it was fun. It made for a good story, I felt.
No, yeah, she got pulled out by the cops.
I'm so mad. The one thing I'm upset is I didn't get to see any of that.
Well, and you totally did the misdirect because you said, "Oh, and the cops were outside." And I was like, "Oh shit!" And you're like, "Yeah, but not a big deal. That happens all the time." And I was like, "Oh, I thought this story was going somewhere where she got arrested."
Yeah, and she did.
And then you came all the way back around. But you're not so because between the network and the calls and the Twitch streams and all that kind of stuff, you never seem like you're that like hammered. Like you always are like, man, like sometimes you'll be like, man, I was drunk or I felt passed out on the Twitch stream, but you never seem like you're that wasted. Like, are you just a chill guy? I was going to say, like, do you have
and I've found, I learned very early on, I know what you do. I learned very early on, my threshold.
Okay. So yeah, one of the stories you had was learning my tolerance. Full disclosure, Joe's very aware of how I segue into things because we do a podcast twice a week
You keep sneaking it on me, and I'm like, how is he? Where is he? Oh, I see where he's going.
Yeah.
Like I catch it at the last second. So you're doing a really good job, buddy.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And you know what I appreciate even more is when you call it out like right as I'm about to do it. Like literally I get through all the setup and then right when I'm about to do it, you're like, oh, I see what you're doing. I'm like, thanks, Joe.
Look, I'm an agent of chaos. I've listened to too much Dan Le Batard to allow things to flow naturally.
Yeah, right. So you said you talked about this I just want to jump back to this point real quick. This is turning into the AD. We're all over the place. But I wanted to jump back to this point real quick. So you had done stand-up in Jacksonville. We talked about this because we had probably done some shows together or shows in the same areas and stuff.
I had done the first place I did it was St. Augustine. And then
at Spliffs, right?
No. It's a place that like they had like 5 weeks and now they're defunct. I can't remember the name. It's like Golden City Bar or something. Like the dude had just bought the spot and he was trying to make it a comedy club. And he was having what I didn't know when I signed up for. I was signing up for like a tryout to be the MC. I thought I was just going to an open mic, but it was like a competition. So this is the first time
you've ever done comedy. You're like, oh, I want to try this.
I've gone into stood up in front of a crowd. It was a competition, but luckily for me, the person who I was quote unquote going up against that night didn't show up. So I won. So I go to the next round. So I get a second set automatically.
Oh, wow.
So my first set went well, but I automatically am built into a second set. So yeah, that was pretty fun.
So that's just how you kind of started comedy. Because when you sent me this note, you said learning your tolerance, and you were saying how it ties into when you used to do stand up. So I kind of wanted to.
So do you want to travel down that how it is a bit?
Well, tell us the story first, and then.
Okay, all right. So the story is I just turned 19, and I'm still living in Palm Coast, but we have a spot. We already have my apartment in Jacksonville. So we were living at the district. Me and my brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my brother was moving.
So you're going to UNF, correct?
I'm not at UNF yet. I didn't start because of how I fucked up my applications. They booked me for the spring term.
I got you.
So, and my birthday is in December. So this is like right after December 1st because that's my birthday, obviously.
Damn, so you graduated high school like you
2012.
were old.
Yeah, 18. I was an 18-year-old. Yeah. I'm old. You're older than me.
No, I'm saying when you graduated, because I graduated, like you were about to turn 19, and I graduated at 17. That's why I was Jesus.
7 months later, but yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Anyway.
So 19, living in Palm Coast, you got your apartment at Jacksonville.
I had my apartment already at UNF, off campus, because I moves like that. But so we're going to my buddy, one of my best friends, Trent. We're going to his brother's house, and Trent if Chris is 3 years older than me, Trent's 2 years older than me. Trent's 2 years older than me, yeah.
So 21.
21. Yes, he's 21, and his brother is like 3 years older than him. 3-4 years older than him, so his brother's like 25, 26. And he already graduated from University of Florida. He's living with his in living girlfriend, who's now his wife. And so they have a house. So we're like, all right. So me, my brother, and Trent are going to Tori's house, Trent's brother, to watch some football game. I think it was the Gators playing somebody. So we go. I'm 19 again. This is the first time. I was a good kid through most of high school. I didn't really drink that much. I didn't really go to a bunch of parties. I was a nerd. I was a cool nerd, though, because I played basketball. I was cool with every social club there had to be. But I was like, I never really was like pressed to drink because we would drink, quote unquote, as kids, essentially. We'd have wine, we'd have champagne and stuff. Like, alcohol wasn't this elixir that I was like desiring. I drank rum before as a kid and stuff like that. So
yeah, you're from the islands.
Yeah, exactly. So like, it was a bit of a different upbringing. So alcohol wasn't something I was like, oh, I need this. Oh, I have to hide this or whatever. Yeah. So 19, we're going up. So we've had like a few beers or whatever at this point. And then he was having like some friends come over who are now my friends because all this time has passed.
Now we're at the house.
We're at the house. We're at
Trent's brother's house.
Yes, we're at Tori's house. So I've had a couple beers, probably like 3-4 beers, and then somebody busts out the Jim Beam. This story is why I'll never drink Jim Beam again.
Beam.
Whatever. I don't say their name correctly. All right, that's how I feel about it.
You don't even say my name correctly.
That's not your fault. So we started playing. This is like my first time playing drinking games. We're playing beer pong. We're playing. There's a quarters. There's setup. There's flip cup, and I'm like guzzling everything and anything. And at some point, I don't know left from right, right from left. So I'm like, I'm playing quarters and I'm doing well, you know, I'm a kid. And then at some point, you know, when you know this better than me, when you're drunk, you have the thought, all I need, or you've seen on TV, like, hey, get a little, you know, something in your stomach to help absorb that alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
Get you back right?
Yeah.
So,
in fact, my big thing was, and the listeners know this, but I used to intentionally avoid eating because I was like, I want to get fucked up. And then you'd get drunk and then you'd be like, I just need a burger or something. Just need a little something.
So, yeah, I again, 19, not really understanding. This is my first time drinking. No tolerance, under comprehension. So I make at some point, I make my way into the kitchen. I see like, just
not your house.
Not my house.
Thing.
Exactly. Not my house. This is such
a huge thing.
This is such a funny story because me and Tori Tori, Sam, all of us are such great friends now. And I don't think we've ever brought up this. And I am like profusely apologize because I was like so out of line. But I was a kid and everybody understood that. And I think that's why they gave me a pass.
Well, and that's how you know you're good friends, is if you do something wildly embarrassing that you're like just like distraught over, and then nobody ever brings it up. You're like, oh, you guys are real good friends.
I think we have brought it up, but it was just like, yeah, that was your learning curve, buddy.
Yeah.
So I make my way to the kitchen at some point. There's a loaf of bread, and I just like grab 2 slices of bread, and then I make my way to the bathroom, and I can't tell you what happened after that, Brennan, because I blacked out sitting on the toilet.
Oh my God, with 2 slices of bread.
2 slices of bread. All I can tell you is that my brother eventually, who so happy he's better than me. He doesn't really drink alcohol at all. He was clear-minded and sober, and he was coming to the bathroom. Lucky him. But apparently I fell off the toilet, and the 2 bread were just on the floor, and I was just passed out on the ground. So he got me up. He cleaned me. I don't even think I had my pants. I think I was just literally I don't think
sitting
I was like
I
was just sitting on the
I know
toilet
exactly what you did.
To eat the bread.
I know exactly what you did. You thought, I want to go sit down away from everybody.
I want to find a hiding
secluded.
spot. Yeah.
Yep. I'm going to eat this bread. And you start going, and then you're just like, I'm tired.
Yeah.
You know what I could do? I could probably just close my, boom, you hit the fucking floor.
So he got me up, got me out of there, got in the car, drove us home, and then he became a joke. Like, what happened in the bathroom with the bread? Da 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 da. So that's kind of the end of the story. That's why I figured out, like, all right, if I'm at the point where I'm starting to scrounge for food like a squirrel, I should probably not have another sip at that point.
Yeah, that's when you should cut it off.
So, yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah, I've done horrific, embarrassing things. I shouldn't say horrific. It's not like I've ever done anything like super bad to like other people.
Yeah.
But like I remember one time, shout out to Sean Michael Murphy, my old college roommate. But
sounds like a wrestler.
No, he was dude, we met my freshman year and we ended up rooming together like 3 years straight, or yeah, I think it was 3 years straight. At one point, he wasn't living on campus anymore, but I was, and I had like one of those little studios with 2 beds in it.
Yeah.
But I didn't have a roommate.
Nice.
And he didn't really have a place to stay, so I was like, oh, just sneak in through the window so you don't have to scan your card and just live with me. And then we ended up, my drinking, obviously, at that point, because when I had stopped playing football, like when I was playing football and everything was like going, like we were the best of friends. But then when I stopped playing and I started drinking way too much and stuff, we started getting into fights. But we've patched things up since then. But what I wanted to say was, one time we were at a party and people used to make jokes because when I would show up to parties, I would always have my backpack on from the New Orleans Bowl. We got like you get swag. So I always had my New Orleans Bowl backpack, so everyone knew it was mine. Yeah. And then I would always carry a bottle of rum and like a 2-liter of Coke in it. Jeez. Always. Sailor Jerry and some Diet Coke. And I would show up to parties and like just walk in, and I would always have my shit with me. So I never had to, because I don't drink beer. I was always a liquor drinker. Okay. So I always wanted to have my stuff. But I remember we showed up to this one party, and I go into the kitchen. Same thing, same thought process. These college kids had put a padlock on their refrigerator.
Smart.
Like a chain and a padlock.
Smart.
Yeah, they were going to have a big party and a bunch of people there, and they didn't want people going through their shit.
Yeah.
And I remember trying to open the fridge because, like, I'm fat and out of shape at this point, but I'm still strong. Like, that doesn't go away. So I'm trying to rip open the fridge, and I can't. Hammered. And I can't. And from what I recollect from the story, eventually one of these days I'll get Murph on here to tell it, but he was like trying to get me out of there, and the people were getting mad because I was breaking their fucking fridge. So they're trying to kick me out, but nobody wants to push me too far because they don't know, like, how
you're going to react.
Yeah, and everyone knew the story at this point about how I got the scar on my forehead and stuff. Yeah, because this was all after. So everyone's like, all right, well, get him out of here, but don't, like, make sure he doesn't snap or something. And so as they're shuffling me out, I just remember turning, being like, I really should have gotten some food. And because my stomach was empty, just filled with booze. Yep.
Oh, no.
Yep. And I was like, I really should have. Oh. And as I'm throwing up, I remember putting my hand over my mouth, and then throw up just spewed out of the sides. Oh. And I just fucking walked out of the house.
Yeah, I'm happy I don't have any story like that.
No, but I'm just saying, it's like one of those things where it's like, I don't remember a lot of that. Yeah. I remember when Murph got back to our dorm room, like we got into this huge blowout fight, and then like he wanted, like we literally turned into an argument, and then like I remember I picked up like a metal rod and I started slamming myself in the face with it, and I was like, you really want to fight? I don't know. It was fucking ridiculous. I'm so embarrassed that I even did that shit. But it's like you're saying, it's like, maybe I know I've had too much when I'm trying to fucking break the fridge open. Maybe I should just be like when you're sitting on the toilet eating bread, you're like, oh, I've probably taken this too far.
Yeah, I've gone a way too far at this point. A bridge too far.
Yeah, and that's nuts to fall asleep on a toilet. Like, I've fallen asleep in cars and stuff before, but I've never fallen asleep on the toilet.
Yeah,
I've had seizures on the toilet, but never fallen asleep on the toilet.
Yeah. Do you want to explore the larger bit? Yeah,
what are you doing for a bit?
It. So
no, take your time.
Time. No, I can condense it because the bit is so involved. I did the routine once, and it's like a 5-minute chunk itself. So it was my whole time. It starts out with names are an important thing to establish in somebody young. I had this girl in my class whose name was Joy, and I thought that was funny because if I were to name my first kid, it would be something like shit or fuck or damn, I fucked up. And so it goes into then, because my name's Joseph, you call me Joe, but my family, all my close relatives call me Brian because that was the name my mom wanted to give me But then when my dad got to the hospital, he named me Joseph after his father and himself. And so that created a weird...
Oh, wow.
And Brian is nowhere in my birth certificate. It created a weird dichotomy because my first day of kindergarten or pre-K, they're calling Joseph, and I have no idea who that is. And then I'm like, I'm Brian. They're like, this kid doesn't know who he is.
Dude, that's fucking funny.
So then the bit goes on with names.
Somebody help. Help.
So we have one of those. The bit goes on to then I had an accident in 7th grade. Again, names stick with you. Had an accident 7th grade, 7 years old. I was in 2nd grade, and this is so embarrassing to say, but I pissed and shit myself on the bus on the way to school. And so then when I came back to the neighborhood, my brother, being a brother, told all my friends, and then my name became P. Doodoo.
P. Doodoo!
And so I had been... The joke goes on like I'm just trying to rid myself of this name. At this point, if anybody in my old neighborhood calls me that, I like literally am willing to fight them because I'm like, I'm an adult now. I'm not a child anymore, guys. This is enough. But then it culminates with the story of my first going out to drink, and I'm on the toilet, and I just say, sometimes names they stick some sticking power, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm on the toilet, and I assert that I pissed and shit myself on the toilet while eating the bread. So yeah.
Oh, so you call back to the P-doo-doo.
Yeah.
The next time I film one of my sets, I'm gonna be like, that shouts out to my man P-doo-doo.
I'm gonna chase you
down. I'm gonna post that everywhere and tag
I'm gonna hunt you down.
Oh man, but you've had some very unique. I love that. Brian. My name's Brian.
Yeah, it's a legitimate thing. It's so funny.
Joseph?
Like, literally, I was talking to my uncle the other day, and he was like, he's like, what did your birth certificate say? Brian? I was like, no, Brian's not on my birth certificate. He was like, what? I was like, oh my God. Just Joseph. He was like, what? Your name's Joseph? I was like, yeah.
We got another one of those.
We got another one. He's in the wrong classes.
So you've had some unique drinking experiences all over the world. What's this about England?
So, I don't know how to segue without saying this. Don't feel bad for me. My mom passed. So after my mom passed.
Oh yeah, I know this story.
Yeah, I was about to say the audience doesn't know, but I'm fine. Everybody. My mom passed when I was 22, and then with some of the life insurance money.
Yeah, was it that long ago?
It's 4 years ago.
No, I know, but it's weird because I remember when it happened in real time because the show it was talked about on the show. So it's
been that long. Yeah. It's crazy. It's pretty crazy. So you just threw me off. So
I'm sorry.
With some of the
mom
life
passed,
insurance
don't
money,
feel bad for me. Life insurance money.
With some of the life insurance money, I was like, I just looked at my brothers and I was like, I'm gonna go to Europe, and they looked at me like, you're crazy, but do whatever you want, kid.
So were all 5 of you listed as beneficiaries?
Yeah, so we all got money.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's just the weird former life insurance agent in me being like, well, wait a second.
Yeah. And then there's like more minutia in there, but I don't really have to get into that.
No. So you're like, I'm going to Europe. I watched Euro Trip once.
Didn't even see that.
Oh, it's a good movie. You got to watch it.
I was just like, you know what? I'm big on experiences. If I can pay my baseline bills and just have a ton of experiences, I'll be perfectly happy and fine. So I was like, and I've been like antisocial and like rigid in ways like meeting people and stuff like that. So I was like, I'm gonna go to Europe, just make a plan, make a plan for myself, like where I want to go and whatnot, how many days I want to spend, and I'm just gonna say, fuck it, I'm just gonna go have a ball. I'm gonna go try to have a good time in this downtime and see some of the things like my mom didn't get to see. That was kind of my genesis behind it. Like everywhere I went, I had the what's it called? Like the pamphlet brochure, not the brochure from the funeral.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about like the places you visit. I thought you meant like the places you visited.
I didn't set it up.
The program, not the program. The
program.
Yeah.
So I had the program with her face,
the brochure,
and picture, and everything on it, and I just carried that in my bag. So everywhere I went, essentially, she went. It was kind of a spiritual journey. I honestly
thought you were gonna be like, yeah, I had, we just took the ashes with me, and then everywhere I went, she went. Which I would have been fine with. It would have been a little weird, but I would have
just made the suitcase weight a little more difficult to figure out. But
well, not only that, but then it's awkward because it's like
carrying this.
You want to go party, and then you got it like sitting next to you at the bar.
Yeah, that's really weird.
And then people are like, "What's that?" It's my mom. All right, back up.
I gotta piss and shit somewhere.
Hey, doo-doo!
Brennan.
So mom's with you.
Mom's with me. So one of my first places is London, and as you know, I'm a Fulham Football Club supporter.
Yes, so big Fulham fan. Shouts out to Tony Khan.
Shout out to TK. So I was like, you know what? This is probably one of my only chances to get to a game. They're playing a game in the 4 days that I'm there. I'm gonna go to a game. So went to a game, and I was I was that person. If we see that person on TV, you know that person. I had a jersey. I had
the
a
black
hat.
guy.
That person as well. I had a jersey. I had a hat.
You're in England.
I had a scarf. I had a Fulham hoodie.
Oh, you're geared up.
I was geared out. I looked.
What do they say? You were G'd up from the feet up.
I was spatted, as the football players would always say. I was coated and spatted, whatever they would say. I never understood the football players' language. I was a basketball player, folks.
I played football my whole life. I've heard of being like spatted. That's when they tape your ankles outside of your cleats. Never heard coated.
Oh yeah, coated, spatted.
Coated sounds like something from a movie I watched the other night.
Anyway.
Oh!
So then go to the game, have a great time. I'm pretty sure it ended up in a draw. I want to say we were playing either Reading or Derby.
Derby.
So left the game, and what happened after I left the game?
What day is this in the trip? Because you said you were there for 4 days.
Day 2. I got there on like a Monday. This is Tuesday.
Did you fly? Obviously you flew.
Yeah,
you fucking swam. Did you fly?
Not that great.
Coach, first class. What?
Coach, come on. I was trying to.
I didn't know how much.
I know. I was trying to be as frivolous as I could with the traveling portions, and then like spend.
Frivolous, you would have been going crazy.
Frugal.
Gotcha.
That's why you're here. So. I think
that's great for optics. The white guy correcting the black guy on the podcast.
Okay, that's what it was. So then my phone is dying because if you go overseas, your phone drains a lot faster because it's running off of towers that it's not used to. So my phone is draining fast. I got some fish and chips, and then I was looking for a place to charge my phone so I can call the Uber to get back to my hostel.
And they got the weird outlets too.
They do have the weird. I did not know they had the weird outlets until I got there. That was something I didn't research. That was very upsetting.
Never saw National Lampoon's European Vacation. Got it.
Nope, I did not. Probably would have been great for me, but I think I still have my universal outlet somewhere around here.
So you had one?
I eventually bought one when I got there. I had to charge my phone, my laptop, my camera, everything.
Imagine
I never got a universal. Everything's just dead all the time.
All the pictures are from the first day. Then he just sat in a hotel room and like wandered around the lobby for 3 more days.
So I'm trying to get to a bar so I can charge my phone. The first bar I go to, it's a visiting bar, so they won't let any Fulham supporter in there out of fear of potential retaliation or fight or something. So they denied me.
They take it super serious.
Yeah, they take it super serious. So I couldn't go there. So I end up at this small bar, and like everything was closing around this time. So I end up at this small bar, and I was like, "Hey, bro, like my shit's dying. I just need somewhere to charge it for like a couple minutes." And the dudes were like, "Sure, man, we're about to close, but yeah, you can sit there until you're fine. Like, you want anything to drink, you want anything to eat, man?" I was like, "Nah, I'm good. I'll just sit in this corner, not make any noise. Like, I just want to charge my phone." So get it charged. I'm fucking gassed at this point because I had been like doing stuff the day before and then the game. So finally get enough charge, hit an Uber, get in the Uber. I did an Uber pool because I don't think Uber pool was here yet, but it was over there already. So I was Uber pool, and I fucking pass out in the Uber.
Oh shit!
I pass out in the back of the Uber. I wake up to this dude and his girlfriend getting in the Uber. She gets in the front seat, he gets in the back seat. So I have to wake up and like slide over now. And I'm like, he's like, what's going on, man? I was like, what's going on? He was like, you're not from here. I was like, nah, I ain't from here.
What gave it away?
Black.
No, I was going to say nobody in England actually roots for Fulham. Oh!
All right, this is the end of this podcast.
No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke.
I know.
Come on,
he was like, you're not from here.
I had to take it.
I was like, nah. He was like, where you going? He was like, where you from? Florida.
Is this the driver or the boyfriend?
This is the boyfriend. And he's like, bro, he's like, where you going now? I was like, I'm just going back to my hostel. And the conversation I had with one of my best friends, Brandon, that's why I always fuck up your name. Because I'm always, so a conversation I had with him the day before, he had already been to Europe once himself. And he was like, bro, say yes to everything. Don't turn down anything. Like, somebody asks you to go out, just say yeah. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Yeah. So this dude's like,
well, you could die. I've seen the movies.
I mean, yeah, you could die, but you know, if I die in Europe, not bad. So dude's like, where you going? I was like, I'm going back to my hostel. He's like, what hostel you at? I'm like, I'm at this one. He was like, oh, we're about to go to a bar not too far from there. You want to come? Sure, let's go. He was like, yeah, I used to bartend there. I know the owner. Like, you're set, bro. I was like, all right, cool. So we just kicking it in the car, chopping it up, get to the bar. He gets me a beer. He introduces me to the owner, and he's like, this is my guy. All right, cool. So I'm talking to him, and then like I walk away from him for like a second, and then I turn back, and then that dude's just gone. I never saw him again. For real? I never see this guy again for the rest of this story. So that
he's like an angel.
So I'm just he's like a guardian angel. I'm just sitting there now. I'm drinking a beer, and these two dudes in a suit are like, "Fuck is up with this guy?" I'm gonna do a bad British accent here, by the way, folks. For a lot of this story, like, what the fuck is up with this guy? I'm like, me. They're like, why are you wearing all this Fulham gear, man? I was like, I just went to the Fulham game. They're like, wait, are you from here? I was like, nah, I'm not from here. Like, it was a light-skinned dude, light-skinned brother, and a white dude. And I was like, who y'all support? They were like, we support Arsenal. And I was like, oh, okay, that's dope. And they were like, how the fuck, why are you here? Why are you repping Fulham? Like, what? And I was like, I'm from Florida. So the brother was like, you're from Florida? Where in Florida? I was like, Miami. He was like, you from Miami or are you just saying Miami? I was like, yeah, I'm from Fort Lauderdale. He was like, he said to his man, he was like, got a homie in Fort Lauderdale. People just say Miami. I was like, all right, I see you. I was like, okay, bro. They're like, what are you doing here? I was like, I'm just kicking it for a couple days and then I'm about to head out. And they're like, so we just end up chopping it up. And they're like, bro, you are like super cool. You should come to our company's Christmas party. I was like,
what the fuck is going on?
I was like, yeah, what day is it? They're like, it's Thursday. And I was like, all right, well, I'm leaving Friday morning. So yeah, I'll come, kick it, whatever, and then boogie. They're like,
just say yes.
Yeah, I was like, just say yes. They're like, all right, cool. Take my number, hit me up on Thursday. We'll send you the address. I was like, all right, bet. So they took off. And then nice little button to the story. I went back to the bar to get another drink. And I was going to pay. And the owner was like, nah, you're good. Homie said he got you. I was like, my guardian angel just got me beers for the rest of the night and disappeared. This is awesome.
Yep. And put you in a position to meet those two dudes.
And put me in a position to meet these two dudes. So then 2 days later, fast forward to Thursday, I think I went to like the British Natural History Museum and then went back to my place, passed out, woke up at like 7. And then I was like, oh shit, their party starts at like 7. I immediately text dude. I was like, yo, what's the address? And like, I'm sitting there like, motherfucker's not gonna fucking respond. Like, this was I was like, this is just like
drunk at a bar, like, hey, you should do it.
Yeah, like, oh, you're so cool, man. I was like, yeah, whatever. So I'm like getting my bags packed because I'm leaving in the morning. So getting my things together.
Where are you going? I don't mean to interject, but you were doing a European thing. So where were you going after this?
I think after this was Brussels.
Well, that's weird.
Is that right? Yeah, because I was going for Brussels because Brussels was having there was like this beer crawl that they had only on the weekends, and I was planning on doing it both Friday and Saturday. So I was only going to Brussels for 2 days.
But okay, but you were going. I thought you were just like, I wanted to check out Brussels.
And I did want to check out Brussels. It's pretty dope. Hey, go to Brussels, motherfucker. It's kind of dope.
No, I know. Hey, I'm not.
It's kind of dope.
Hating.
Brussels, low key, a little dope ass European spot.
So you text them, assuming they're not going to text you back.
Assuming they're not going to text back, but I shoot the text anyway. So then, like, probably 10, 15 minutes later, I get a response like, "Oh shit, what's going on, bro? This is where we're at. Get here ASAP." I'm like, "All right, well, I'm going." Get dressed, throw it at the Uber. Uber takes me there. Now I'm at, again, this is kind of the story of my life. I am extremely underdressed. I cannot stress to you how underdressed I am. I'm at, like, in some...
Well, when you met these guys in the bar, they were wearing suits.
They were wearing suits. They had just got off work, though. I thought this was just, like, just get off work attire. I don't know nothing about British culture. I think they all go to... I think they wear suits to fucking eat dinner. So... I pull up, I'm in like, I got a polo jacket on top of just like not a flannel shirt, but like a button down, but I got it open, white tee, jeans, and just like some kicks.
Gotta go white tee.
White tee, inside shirt.
Inside shirt
situation. A little Hanes white shirt situation. It's clean though. It was clean. I bought it for the trip.
Yeah. Oh, so, dude, after like 2 or 3 wears, gotta throw them out.
Gotta get rid of it. So I get there.
You show up way underdressed again.
Super underdressed. Everyone is in suits, evening gowns. I'm immediately just hand on my head like, fuck, what am I doing here?
Try to wave down the Uber. Wait, come back.
I'm like, whatever. I just go. I'm like standing around looking for them. I don't see them. I'm like, fuck. What am I even doing here?
What's the situation? Because this is the kind of stuff that fascinates me. So you pull up in the Uber, because I get super anxious. Like I talked about it last week on the podcast. Like there's some comedy shows I just won't go to.
Yeah.
Because like I don't know anybody, and like I'll pull up and be like, nope, I'm not doing this open mic. I don't know anybody.
That was
like,
kind of the genesis of the whole trip, because I had to get comfortable in being. I didn't know anybody anywhere I was going.
Yeah.
So I kind of just had to
pull up.
I pull up, hop out. I don't see what anybody's wearing until I walk in.
Is it a building, a club, a bar? Is it the office? What are we doing?
It's not the office. Okay, yeah. So good point. So I get out. It's like a restaurant. It's a restaurant with an outdoor patio, but it's kind of like a ballroom-ish. I don't know. It's mad elegant, but I can't tell all this from outside. I see all this
so you just
once
show up
I
and
walk in.
Yeah.
So I walk in and I see everything, and I'm like, fuck. But nobody asks me any question. No one says anything to me. So I try to scan the room real quick as everyone does at the party.
Nobody knows why you're there.
Nobody knows
and they just
who this random black kid that just walked into our party. I do that thing where when you walk into somewhere, and I know some people here, so I'm trying to scan the room for the guys I know. Don't see them, and I'm like, fuck. So let me go to the bar, get a drink. Bartender, what you gonna get? Jack and Coke. It's like $80 over there because this has to be imported from America.
I didn't think about that.
I'm like, fuck, this is way too expensive with Jack and Coke. So I'm like, fuck, now I'm drinking a Jack and Coke. Man, I just spent like 20, 30 pounds or whatever. And then I'm just like standing there by myself. And then out of the blue, my guys find me. Yo, Joe, what's going on? I'm like, man. They're like, yo, you're here, man. You're fucking here. I was like,
somebody gonna get me for this Jack and Coke? Somebody gonna get me back? Let's talk about this real quick.
So they're like, he's here. Oh shit. And then they're like with some other people. They're like, this is the dude we were telling you about. I was like, what? They're like, yeah, this is the kid who came from America and he was at the bar with his Fulham gear on. We invited him. He's here. Oh shit. Yo, what you drinking? I was like, drinking a Jack and Coke. I got your next one. I was like, sure. So
yeah, absolutely.
We're just like the next like 2 hours. We're just in this place chopping it up. They introduced me to their boss. This dude's like a fucking millionaire, billionaire who's like, they're in charge of like this project that's like building train systems so people from the outskirts can make it into the city to help the economy flow.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's fucking like these are fucking wealthy people. And I was extremely underdressed, as I said before. But everybody's like fucking happy as shit to talk to me. Everybody's buying me. I had like so many drinks bought for me. I thought I won the Super Bowl. Like, somebody got my next Jack and Coke. Somebody was like, have you had a Peroni yet? I was like, no. Let's get this guy a Peroni. Do you like this kind of music? Do you like this? Oh, what's your favorite movie? Everybody's talking to me. It's so bizarre. Like, I'm like the life of the party. Everybody's coming to me. Like, I met like 30 people that night. It was pretty fucking dope. So cool. So then they're like, hey, yeah, we're leaving here. We're going to go over to Dirty Martini. I was like, I don't know what that is, but let's go. I'm putting my drink down. They're like, why are you doing that? And I was like, because I can't leave with a drink. They're like, this is not America. I was like, oh shit, open container everywhere? Fucking let's go. So we walked to the next bar, drinking, swigging, whatnot. Get there. It's like a dance club, nightclub. Have a good hour. We closed that place down, basically.
Damn.
So then we're going to somebody's apartment. And now it's like 2 a.m. and the train I wanted to catch was like 7.
Okay.
So it's like 2 a.m. So then we head over there, kicking it in her place. So now we're with some original 2 dudes, like one girl, her brother, who she had come to the party, and then like 2 of her friends or whatever. So we're all just kicking it, drinking, talking, winding down. I end up on the balcony with her. Shared a smoochy smooch.
Little smoochy smooch.
Shared a little smoochy smooch. And then I was like, oh shit, I have to leave because I have to catch this train. So I hit in the Uber, get in the Uber, go back to my place, pack all my bags, get another Uber to take me to the train, not knowing this is a train where there's certain trains where you have to like reserve a seat. So I have to reserve a seat for the train that I need to catch immediately. Somehow I get on the train, but I didn't reserve the correct seat. So then the fucking ticket taker comes down to me and is like, you need to buy another seat right now. I'm like, what is happening? But I had a great
They
night.
wouldn't let you just move?
No. He was like, because I don't think I reserved the seat. So I just got on the train with what I thought was fine. But he was like,
because you had a ticket, but you didn't reserve a seat.
There's this thing called, I think it's Euro 1 or Euro Rail. If you're traveling from out of the country, if you're going to Europe, you can just use this for like a month, basically. You have a month of continuous uses. He was like, yeah, that's fine to get you on the train, but you have to then reserve a seat for certain trains. I was like, oh, okay. So charge my card right here, sir. And so I was like, fine, dope. And then I immediately just passed the fuck out.
How long is that train ride?
That train ride had to be somewhere, because this is like, had to be somewhere in like the 4 or 5 hours.
Oh, see, so that's good.
Yeah.
And I'm not even being funny. Like if you, like a long flight or a long train ride or a long car ride that you're not driving after a long night of like partying and stuff, there's nothing better.
It was so welcoming. It was so welcoming.
Just to be like, all right, I made it. Anxiety's gone. Let's pass out and just get there.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm trying to. I don't remember. I have to retrace this trip because I'm starting to think my next stop was Amsterdam, but I couldn't be Brussels. Right. I would say that couldn't be right because I went to Brussels for the weekend.
Yeah, I mean that lines up. If you finished on Thursday and then went out Friday and then got to Brussels, and then did you start drinking immediately?
Yeah, I
was
about to say Brussels? That was a fucking trip. That was a trip.
Oh, man.
That first day in Brussels, I wanted to die, because. So the Airbnb I booked for Brussels was a couch at somebody's place. So the dude was like, I'm not going to be home till I get off work. So I was like, all right, now I have to kill time until he gets off work. So like, I think I found a place where I could put my luggage until like a certain time. My phone is constantly dying, as I already said. And then I was like, all right, let me try to hit the mall to get some things that I'm missing. Like I need to get a towel.
And a universal charger.
I think I already got in the universal charger at this point.
Yeah.
But I had nowhere to fucking charge it because he's not home.
Yeah.
So I'm just like killing time with that whole day, get to his place, finally shower, nap, and then get up to go to this fucking drink-a-thon.
Oh, man.
In that 2-day span, I may have slept for a total of 8 hours.
Yeah.
Because I I did the drinkathon, got back to his place, crashed, woke up, went to the Autobill Museum in Brussels, which is super dope. You could check my history on my Instagram for some of those pictures. And then
what museum?
It's like the Automobile Museum.
Oh, really? In Brussels?
Yeah, it's really fucking nice. There's a random giraffe in the middle of it. I don't know why still. And then, so at the first night of the pub crawl, they were like, hey, if you keep your wristband, you can just come back the next night. I was like, oh, shit. I thought this was one night.
Money.
Nice. So, like, me and, like, 4 of the dudes that were there the night before came back. I was like, sweet. So, yeah.
Well, you constantly, from the stories that you're telling us, you constantly kind of find yourself on the right, other than, obviously, passing out on the toilet that one time. You find yourself on the right end of a lot of these things.
Yes, I'm lucky. Because
what happened?
I learned early on where my tolerance was.
Yes, very good callback. Professional. What happened with the I want to get to the UNF story, but I want to do that last because
that's a good last story.
Let's do tell me what happened. You just put exchange student debacle.
Oh, okay. So this is at UNF. This is so because my I wasn't set to go until the spring. Every weekend I had a buddy, my best friend Brandon, who he was already at UNF. So that was one of the reasons I was like, I don't care to go there. I don't mind going there because I know he's already there. So he has established shit he could put me on. So every weekend for the whole fall semester, me, my homie Fred, who was 17 because he was just a senior in high school after I graduated, and then our homie KJ would drive up every Friday after I got off work at Subway, drive the 45 minutes to Jacksonville, and just spend the night in Brandon's. Now I'm giving him your name. We would spend the night in his dorm. And one of his dorm mates was this French exchange. My slur is my list is really gonna show here. Was a French exchange student, and his name was Bart. And there was like a bunch of French exchange students on this campus. So one night, we had gone up a couple times, built a rapport with Bart. Bart's super dope. Bart, if you hear this, wherever you are in South France, South France, shout out to you, buddy. So he was like, hey guys, we've drank with a bunch of y'all friends. Do y'all want to come to some of the another French dorm? There's like a dorm with a bunch of the French students where they're getting together for this night or whatever.
Stinks.
Brennan?
That was a hack joke.
So we're like, yeah, cool. No problem.
Hack joke.
So
I apologize.
We're kicking it with them, and there's a lot of beautiful ladies.
Yeah,
they
come into First Watch. There's still a bunch of French people that go to UNF, and they come into First Watch.
There were a lot of beautiful ladies in that dorm.
Yeah.
And
there are a lot of pretty women here.
I don't know what happened if we were drinking prior, but we were already a little swayzy, you know what I'm saying?
No Swayze, no Wazy.
Me and my boy Fred, we're like, we're in our prime. We just finished high school. We're in our peak physical.
I wouldn't call that prime, but
we're in our peak physical shape at this point.
Hitting the pinnacle, baby.
So there's 2 girls that are eyeing me and Fred, and me and Fred are looking at each other like, we might have a chance. And we just started playing like, I don't know if it was spin the bottle or truth and a lie or something or other. Like we're getting
2 truths and a lie. Yeah, I like that.
We're getting down to something. And then my homie KJ, who KJ never really drank a ton, doesn't really drink a ton now. He's like, hey, where's your bathroom? We're like, they point him to the bathroom. He goes to the bathroom. We think nothing of it. We're getting our Mac on. Next thing we know, somebody else went to the bathroom and they're waiting. And they're waiting.
Uh-oh.
And they're waiting. And now everyone's
Did KJ bring 2 pieces of bread with him?
That probably would have helped him. KJ threw up in their bathroom.
Oh, fucking no, he didn't.
He threw up in the bathroom. He was trying to clean it up. And so we all had to leave. And we had to carry him back to Brandon's dorm.
Oh,
And
shitty.
it ended the night for me and Fred. So yeah.
Damn, man.
Yeah.
What a cockblock throwing up in the toilet.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is if you're going to throw up and you can feel it coming, just get in the toilet. Just stick your head in the fucking toilet.
Yeah.
That's always been my thing because I throw up all the time. But people always try to do that trick. Not trick, but they're like, I don't want to put my head in the toilet, so they always do it above. But then it goes everywhere.
Yeah.
Just put your head in the toilet.
Just get in the toilet.
Just
yeah. If you're gonna, KJ definitely spent that night. We didn't allow him in the bedroom. He had to sleep in the bathroom.
obviously. If that's the least that he suffers, then that's good.
So, yeah. I mean, the most he suffered was me and Fred just relentlessly parading him like you ruined our chances. Like
obviously, and then it never happened again. Nope. It was a one-time thing.
Never happened again. Never hung out with the
because you're not getting invited back.
Yeah, never getting those 50 Americans.
Yeah. They so
yeah.
Oh man, shitty. Well, while you were at UNF, speaking of,
again, funny. This is another pre-UNF story. None of my stories are. Once I was in school mode, I was in school mode. This is a pre-school.
But it says UNF heist.
Yeah, because the heist took place at UNF.
So speaking of UNF,
because this, like I said, me, Fred, and KJ would go up every weekend in the fall to kick it with Brandon. And
now, I just real quick, you put James Bond type heist.
Yes.
Just so we're clear.
Yes.
James Bond was an MI6 intelligent agent.
Maybe not Bond.
Intelligence.
I couldn't think of another. I was trying to get you the notes as fast as I could.
I mean, I get what you're saying. It's a very super secret spy thing.
Bear with me. Fuck. I meant to not give any names. I've ever given everybody's name that's involved with this.
We don't know last names though. We're fine. I'm not going back through and bleeping all this.
Good point. So me and 3 of my buddies.
There you go.
So one of us, I'll be vague with this part. One of us had a girlfriend who was at UNF the year prior. And then the following year, she did not go to UNF. She went to DBC because she was originally an out-of-state student, and she wanted to not pay those out-of-state student prices anymore. And she was going to establish residency in Florida.
You got to be there for a year. Yeah, I got you.
So then she went to DBC. And her birthday was coming up. So on one of these weekends where we went to go see Brandon, you know how frats, they put out their designed and decorated Greek letters and stuff or whatever.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, have you been to UNF's campus when they do it?
No, I've been to USF's campus though when they've done it because we didn't have on-campus housing for fraternities.
See, we did
FAU.
not either. So where they put it was like in the general courtyard in Breezeway.
Okay.
So
I see what you're saying. Okay.
So it was just out in the open. Not
monitored. That's a good way to get stolen.
Not monitored whatsoever. So one Saturday, one Saturday, and I think it was like a holiday weekend or something because no one was on campus. We are walking.
No, it was just a regular weekend. It's just UNF. Ow!
I don't like the digs you're taking at my school, my alma mater, sir. So we're walking on campus and we are saying how we're going to take this Greek letter. I won't say what letter.
Okay, you said heist. I thought it was going to be like jewels or money.
Okay. Let me give you the dimensions of this letter. This is a letter that is bigger than me. And I'm 6 foot. This was like a 7-foot letter. And we had to somehow get it into my Toyota Camry.
Original rims.
What
are we thinking? We just want the letter?
We just want the letter because it's designed pretty cool and the person wants to give it to their significant other.
Yeah, this is going to be the birthday present?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have to divide. Now it's in the general breezeway, which is
just a side note. I don't mean to interrupt you, but just a side note. If you're going to go through all this effort to steal something, this is way more thoughtful than any amount of money you could put into buying a gift.
Yes.
Throwing that out there.
Yes. And they're still together. So
That's why.
And I think they still have it, which is pretty great.
Fucking spoiler alert.
Oh, shit. Oh.
So it's in the
breezeway. But you can't drive to the breezeway. So my car, I'm the driver. I'm only the driver. The brains of the operation, I won't say it's who. So I have to, and there's like gardeners and stuff. So there are people on campus, but no like students really. I don't remember what weekend it was, but it was a weekend where nobody was there because we've been planning it for a couple weeks now.
Well, and there's people on campus, but no one's gonna make a fuss.
Yeah, nobody like, it's not really like, say,
the
hey,
gardeners
that's
are
mine.
Gonna be like, oh, yeah, they must be in. Yeah, the gardeners are probably just like, oh, they're in the frat. Like the workers are probably just like, oh, it's probably their thing. Yeah.
So the way UNF's campus is set up is so.
The saddest part is
confusing.
you said you've been planning this for weeks.
We were. We weren't. He was. He had kind of figured out.
No, you don't gotta
how
justify
we can
it.
get
I got
this
you.
to the point where it needs to be. So UNF's campus is horribly set up because it's set up so no cars really can come to where the classes are. Like everyone has to park on the outskirts of the campus, and then you bus into the campus, and then that's how you get to your class. You just then walk. But there are places where you can drive. But so. There was two people who had to pick up this Greek letter that is like 7 feet tall.
Yeah.
Move it. One person was the lookout. We had to maneuver it, drop it at certain places. Sometimes people would walk by, just had to just play dead. Like just drop it on the grass, walk away, don't know what's happening, don't know what's going on. And I am parked illegally, essentially, so I'm hoping no one is ever going to drive by and see me, because campus security is everywhere at all times. We've figured out their patterns and when they would come to this particular area. So
you really did some research.
Yeah, we did our due diligence. So then we get it into my vehicle. And then I immediately drive by myself. I can't wait for anybody to get in because it takes the whole back seat. So I drive off, and then where somebody's dorm was in a very secluded area. It was a very nice dorm. It was very secluded. So I then parked all the way in the back. We threw a blanket over it, and then we had to sit for a whole day hoping that no one caused a stink about this. Because we weren't leaving till Sunday, and we stole this on Saturday.
Oh, wow. That was poor timing. All the planning you did, you didn't think about?
That's probably the worst planning of the whole thing we did. Actually, did we? Yeah, I think we did wait the day. So then we kind of just, try to function Sunday as a normal Sunday. No, I'm lying. We stole it on a Sunday. Yes, we stole it on a Sunday because then we all got back to the dorm, hugged each other up. We fucking did it. We've been talking about this for weeks. We got it done. It's in the car. I don't know who's sitting in the back because you're going to have to like sit in between this thing because it's taking the whole back seat. And we drove out. I think we had just seen, all of us had just watched Drive together. This was like,
oh my God.
This was like the weekend I saw Drive. Well, no, that summer I saw Drive, and then I've seen it like 8 times up to this point.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's one of your favorite movies.
Yeah, so we all loved it. And I think we watched Drive like the night before we did this thing.
Oh, wow.
It was so lame.
So it was successful.
And it was a success. We drove away listening to Frank Ocean, Color Orange. Hour away. Brandon somebody had to text me the code to their garage at their house. I had to drop everybody off, then go to this person's garage, punch in the code, put it in by myself, close the garage, walked away. I felt like I, just accomplished something momentous.
As you're walking out.
Yeah, I'm walking out. The garage door is closing behind me. I was like, where's the camera? But I don't want a camera because it's a heist. But where's the camera filming this for the end of the movie? Where these
roll credits.
Roll credits. It felt fucking awesome.
That's awesome, man. God, success at last.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they still have that, which is pretty.
They still have it, and they're still together.
And
which is the most amazing
and they're
part
building
of
a
that.
house together in Vermont.
And they're gonna put that big ass.
And I'm
fucking
giving
Greek letter
way
outside
too
of
many
it.
details as to who it is.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's that worried.
Yeah,
about
statute of limitations, right?
Yeah, it's been 5 years.
The funny thing is, like, I think the next year they changed the protocol for like displaying the Greek letters.
Oh, really? Yeah, no, we're not gonna have any more of this bullshit where you just put them out in the breezeway. Because you know what happened. Like, when they first were like, where should we put them? They're like, in the breezeway. Yeah, but what if somebody steals them?
No one's
going to fucking steal
this.
giant 7-foot letters.
Yeah. And then it happened.
TikToked?
Yeah, I think they like staked them into the ground after that. Because they were just like...
chain them up or something?
Yeah, something. Because before that, they were just like on something. Like, we could easily just pick it up and walk away with it.
Yeah. Well, you did.
I was going to say, as...
Not you could, you did.
Yeah, as alluded to in the story. We just...
Oh, man, that's crazy.
Yeah. Fun times.
Oh, man, this is fun.
Times.
This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. Hopefully, these stories are funny.
Yeah, they are. This is... It's always good to have people on.
There's a reason I'm not a comic.
No, don't say that. You were a comic, like I talk about in one of my new bits. As long as you do an open mic once or twice, you can now say forever you were a comic.
Yeah, nice. I'm taking
only
that
job
to the
you can
grave.
do that. That and being a chef. Only 2 jobs. Because you know what I mean? Like, I know chefs that never went to culinary school. They just became chefs.
True. Yeah.
Comedy's the same thing. Like, you can't take 2 CPR classes and be like, I'm a doctor.
True.
But I'm burning this
you
whole
can get
bit.
an honorary doctorate and say you're a doctor.
Yeah, that's true. Like Kornheiser did.
Exactly.
Speaking of burning bits, everybody come see me. This is going to come out next week. This week on Wednesday. So, Joe, what do you got to plug? I'm trying to see the exact date. Give me a second.
Again, you can check me out at my...
Wednesday the 11th, this will come out.
Wednesday the 11th. So where are you going to be?
Oh, I'm going to be at Ace Arena in Mandarin, Jacksonville, Florida on Saturday the 14th. Show starts at 8. Check out the website, BrennanTComedy.com for details.
Go check out my man, and if he says, report back to me and tell me if he says P-Doodoo, because then I'm going to drive the 6 hours and hunt him down.
P-Doodoo!
You can catch me on Twitter at Joe Dorvil. If you need me to spell it, it's JOEDORVIL. On Twitter as well. On Instagram as well. Jeez. Yeah, I'm too flustered. I've been drinking this whole time, so it's catching up with me now.
Buddy.
Check out my album. I always forget that one.
Always.
TV by Headphn Joe. I'm starting to work on
No
this.
O, no E in the Joe.
In the phone.
In the phone. Fucking shit. Yeah, that's right. It would just be Headphone J.
Yeah, I was like Headphone J. Listen to Cheers from the Press Box, where me and Brennan also love talking to each other. And then listen to Who Does a Podcast. I promote that one heavily because that is a niche show. So if you like Hamilton as much as me and Kyle Loader,
We're talking about the play Hamilton.
The play Hamilton
streaming
on Disney Plus. We had a watch party a couple weeks back. Brennan showed up.
Yeah, that was fun.
It was awesome. We're a good time. And then
I don't mean to interrupt you, but I love the play.
Yeah.
Just not a big fan of his politics because I studied history, but the play is really good.
Yeah, we have
more of a Jefferson guy.
You're a Jefferson guy.
Yeah, but we don't have to get into that.
The
election just happened.
My only issue with not my only issue, but one of the issues.
I love how I have a degree in American history and you've watched Hamilton 90 times and you're going to tell me your issue with Thomas Jefferson.
I was also a history major at one point. I kept that out of the story so I could streamline some things, but I was a history major for a brief point. But no,
I know, it just sounded better when I said it
I
like
know,
that.
and I couldn't let you have that. But Hamilton was for the Haitian Revolution, whereas Jefferson was not, because he thought it would incite the slaves in America. So that's why I can't really rock with Jefferson, because you know why? My people would have still been slaves. And I couldn't say the thing that I always get to say, which is my people were unenslaved before Americans. 1804, January 1st, Haitian Independence Day.
Boom.
Boom.
I love how you twisted that into making me look like the biggest bigot in the entire world. Thank you for that. Because that doesn't happen enough, looking like a cop, being a straight white male with a beard doing stand-up.
Hey, man, I gotta take my shots where I can. Gotta take my shots where I can.
I just kind of meant the small government, laissez-faire kind of economic policies, but yeah, the slaves too, right? Yeah, that too.
I still think Hamilton's right.
I just noticed something.
Certain aspects of it. Well,
the notes that you sent me is a screenshot.
Yes,
and you have no battery charge in this screenshot either. You just don't charge your phone.
I charge my phone when I'm going to sleep, and then like the middle of the day before I go to work, and then I'm just running on whatever.
Oh, see, I have a charger in the car, and that's what saves me.
In the car, I charge my Bluetooth headphones.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because see, I can't fall asleep without like something playing in the background.
Are you falling asleep in your car?
No. So I don't charge my phone at night because I have my headphones plugged into it.
Oh, okay.
So because I don't use my Bluetooth because I'll lose them. Like my AirPods. I'll
okay,
lose.
that's right. I have the.
This is so fascinating for all of our listeners. All right, we got to get off of this.
No, they love this part. This
all right,
is their favorite part.
Your rap album TV. No O, no E in the phone. Headphone Joe. Yeah. Check out anulo.co.
Yes.
That's where you can find all the podcasts. Again, Brennan T Comedy, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you want to talk about something on the show, everybody, you can email me, brennantassif@brennantcomedy.com. Come check me out. Big show at Ace Arena, Saturday, November 14th at 8 o'clock. Get tickets now. It is a socially distanced show, so even though it is a big place, it's going to probably sell out. And that's it. It's going to be another episode of Brennan Tassif is your ex-drinking buddy. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to everybody next week. Boom. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Solid.
Perfect. That was fun.